Your business deploys AI pilots everywhere. But are they going anywhere? Or are they stuck in silos, exhausting resources, unable to scale? Maybe you don't need hundreds of AI pilots, you need a holistic strategy. IBM has 65,000 consultants with Gen AI expertise who can help you design, integrate, and optimize AI solutions. So you're not just deploying AI, you're scaling it across your business. Learn more at ibm.com/consulting. IBM. Let's create.
With the $5 meal deal at McDonald's, you pick a McDouble or a McChicken, then get a small fry, a small drink, and a 4-piece McNuggets. That's a lot of McDonald's for not a lot of money.
Price and participation may vary. For a limited time only.
Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that lets you make one super easily, distribute it everywhere, and even earn money, all in one place for free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters, and here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and edit your podcasts right from your phone or your computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard. Video podcasts are also available on Spotify, and when you want to take conversations with your fans to the next level, Q&As and polls are the best way to get them talking. With Spotify for Podcasters, you can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. Ever since I discovered Spotify for Podcasters, I feel so supported in the creation and distribution of my show. Spotify for Podcasters hosts masterclasses, office hours, and more to help creators develop and fine-tune their skills. I highly recommend you give it a try. Download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to spotify.com/podcasters to get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to 80/20. Thank you so much for clicking on today's episode. I know that you guys are absolutely going to just eat this content up today. You guys love morning routines. I think anything morning routine related is, I guess, just like golden. People just love morning routines. And I think that it's because we all have this idea of what your morning routine should look like, or your ideal morning routine in your head. But the hardest part is actually executing it. And really, in any situation, doing the work is the hardest part, but it's hard to do the work when you don't really have a clear vision of what you want to accomplish within your morning routine. And so I actually have an entire episode, I think it was from season 1, where I chatted about creating your ideal morning routine and how to basically like write down all your action steps that you want to do in the morning and how to execute those things. But today I wanted to give you guys 8 habits that you need in your morning routine. These are things that I do every single morning that have absolutely changed the game for me. And I think part of it too is like, if your morning routine is something that you're excited about waking up and doing, it makes it that much easier to even get out of bed. But if your morning routine is like this crazy outline of all these things that you feel like you have to do, but you don't actually enjoy doing any of those things, you're not going to be excited about it. And then you're not going to want to wake up at like 5 a.m. to do this extravagant morning routine. So ideally, your morning routine would be filled with things that truly benefit you, that are going to set your day up for success. But I think that we've overcomplicated it, and I talk about this all the time on the show, but social media has made things way more complicated than they need to be. And there are reels, and there are TikToks, and there's YouTube videos, and everybody has this like extravagant morning routine, but I guarantee you they're not actually doing all of those things every single morning. So you guys know that I love lists, and you guys know that I love numbers. For some reason, a lot of my content is like number related, or it's like titled something with a number. Like this podcast is 80/20. My coaching program, Good Things Come in Threes, which enrollment for that is still open. So if you guys are interested, I have a whole episode about what the program is about, why you should join, this, that, and the other thing. It's called Level Up Your Lifestyle, and that will be linked in the show notes. But today's episode is something listy and numbersy related, and it's 8 habits that you need in your morning routine. These are tried and true, and I absolutely love doing these things every single morning. And I'm also going to share with you why I do these things and how it sets my day up for success, because if you don't know why you're doing something, what's the point? Like if you go on YouTube and you just type in morning routine and you see this person doing all these crazy things in the morning, but they're not sharing with you how it benefits their lifestyle, like what's the point? They're probably just doing it for show, to be honest with you guys. And a very common theme that I see with my one-on-one clients is we always end up somehow adding a morning routine element into their lifestyle plan, because your morning is truly what can make or break your day. You know, if you think about your day on a morning where you overslept and you felt super rushed and you rolled out of bed and you realized that you need to be somewhere in 15 minutes and you're rushing to brush your teeth, you didn't have time to pick out the perfect outfit, you spilled coffee on your way out the door and your car wouldn't start, and all of a sudden you realize that you need to get gas too on the way, and it's just all this craziness, and starting your day at such a high stress level is so not good for you. And I truly believe that these 8 habits can start your day on the right foot, on a very calm note, because if you think about the days where maybe you have an extra 45 minutes to an hour to take care of you, to take care of your mind, to take care of your body before you have to take care of everything else in your day, whether that is your coworkers or your family or kids or your dog, or just, we all have all these responsibilities, and we've constantly overfilled our schedules with 1,000,001 things to do, but we never stop and take an extra 15, an extra 30, an extra 45, dare I say an extra hour for ourselves. If you build that self-care time into your morning, you can start your day on a calm note. Before we get too far into the episode, I do want to shout out our 2 giveaway winners for this week. Every week I pick a winner or 2 to receive a free bundle of my 3 ebooks on my website, and this is the Social Media Detox Kit, this is the 21% Better Challenge, and the Grocery Guide. So this week's winners are Katrina_Claire and Health with Marie. I will be in touch with you ladies and get you guys copies of my ebooks. And this is just something that I like to do for people who post about the podcast on Instagram and tag both me and the podcast Instagram account. So all you have to do is take a screenshot of you listening to 80/20, write a little blurb about what you liked about today's episode, or an emoji, or I don't know, just however you feel about listening to the episode. Share it with your friends, share it on Instagram. Make sure that you tag me at Lily Rayco and tag the podcast Instagram at 8020pod, and you will be entered in the chance to win a bundle of my ebooks. If you guys ever want to access these ebooks, they are on my website. I will have a link in the show notes. So you don't have to wait to win the giveaway. You can always check them out on my website. But I do love to give back to you guys and say thank you for sharing the show and spreading the 80/20 love. Let's go ahead and dive into 8 habits that you need in your morning routine. Habit number 1 is wake up at the same time every day. So for most people, and my one-on-one clients and I talk about this all the time, inconsistent wake-up times equal an inconsistent morning routine. And this is because humans are creatures of habit. And if our habits, our actions aren't aligned with our goals, we're not going to be able to accomplish them. So if your morning routine is your goal, and this ideal wake-up time is the start of your morning routine, and your morning routine is your goal, you need to wake up at a consistent time every single day. This also helps to keep your body's internal clock, your circadian rhythm, on track. And if one day you're waking up at 6 a.m. and then the next day you're sleeping in until noon, and then the next day you're waking up at 8, and then the next day you wake up at 8:30, and then the next day you wake up at noon again, and then you're like, oh shoot, I wanted to wake up at 6 a.m. all week, so I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. again this Friday. And your body's like, whoa, dude, what's going on? There's no consistency. So when you have this unregulated sleep pattern, it's going to make it hard to even begin your morning routine in the first place, because getting out of bed is going to be the hardest part. And also make sure that you're getting at least 8 hours of sleep. A lot of people try to tell me that they're good on 5 or 6, and you're lying if you tell me that, because your body needs at least 8 hours, maybe even more. As a young person, I do really well with 9.5. As someone who is very creative, I think a lot. I feel like I have a lot of ideas constantly, tabs open in my brain is what I like to call them. It's hard for me to get to sleep and hard for me to get 9.5 hours. But the nights that I do get 9.5 and the days that I wake up at my wake up goal time, I feel the best. And I firmly believe that you will too. Habit number 2 is stay off your phone for the first hour of the day. You know what, let's just change this to stay off all screens for the first hour of the day, not just your phone. The last thing you need when you're first waking up in the morning is all the noise of social media, is the noise of the news, is your emails, your inbox, your text messages. You do not need that heightened stress level that early in the morning. And I know a lot of people like to sit in bed and kind of like slowly wake up by checking their phone. That's probably like the worst thing that you could do for your mental health when there are like a million other ways for you to wake up your body. So I like to sit in bed and just start to stretch. So I'll start by stretching my arms, maybe like rolling side to side a little bit. I'll do like a little spinal twist action. Sometimes I'll get on all fours and do like a cat-cow situation in my bed. I'll stretch out my neck, kind of like roll my head side to side, and just kind of slowly start to wake up the body. If you've ever taken a yoga class, at the end, you take part in Shavasana, and this is a period of rest and meditation. And when it comes time for the class to officially end, the instructor will usually say like, okay, slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes, start to wake up the body. Kind of take this same approach. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and toes, start to wake up the body, maybe twist side to side, sit upright, maybe take a sip of water. You could get a sunrise alarm clock, or you could get a lamp with different color changing remotes. Recently, my sister has been having trouble waking up in the morning. And so I'll poke my head in and I'll be like, good morning, Lexi. Like, do you want a sunrise? We have these, I think it's HP, like color changing lights. If I can find it, I'll link it in the description, but I got it at Target. We both got them at Target. And I will put her lamp on red, and then I'll come back a few minutes later and put it on orange, and then I'll come back a few minutes later and put it on yellow. And it's just a nice way to kind of like slowly wake up as if there was a sunrise, because now the sun doesn't rise until I think it's like 7:30 here where I live. And it's hard to get up at, 5:30 or 6 if it's dark outside. And naturally your body wants to wake with the sun. And so kind of doing this mock sunrise with an LED light could be really beneficial and help you kind of wake up your eyes and wake up your brain and wake up your body without looking at your phone first thing in the morning. Habit number 3 is to make your bed. And there are a couple reasons why I like making my bed. First reason is that I feel like I've accomplished something. And if you accomplish something right off the bat, first thing in the morning, you feel really freaking good. Number 2, it will help you to not get back into your bed, because that is a dangerous, dangerous game. Like, oh, I guess I'll just do my meditation and my journaling in bed today. Yeah, don't do that, because you will fall asleep again and then you will not want to get out of bed. And then you like wrap up on your blankets and you're like, oh, it's like so nice and warm and cozy in here. And you just go down this rabbit hole and then you don't get out of bed. Habit number 4 is to participate in some sort of morning mindfulness practice. So this is where you have the opportunity to read. Maybe you journal, maybe you meditate, maybe you just take extra time with your skincare. Show yourself some love and some gratitude while you're putting on your outfit. Just do something for yourself. This is your little self-care opportunity and a chance for you to fill your own cup before you have to go out into the world and fill others' cups. I personally love to read, journal, and meditate. I don't get the opportunity to do all of those things every single morning. In an ideal world, I would. If push comes to shove, I just choose one and I do that. So whether that's just making a gratitude list, like writing down 10 things that I'm grateful for, or doing a 2-minute meditation, or reading a page of my book, just something. Do the bare minimum if you really do not have time. Just do something. And it doesn't have to be extravagant, and it doesn't have to be crazy, and it doesn't have to be like the picture perfect YouTuber, Instagrammer, TikToker morning routine. It can be exactly what you need today. Tip number 5 is to let the sunlight in. And I know that this is kind of tricky during the winter, but even if it's dark outside, I would recommend opening up the windows in your house. And when the sun does rise, it will automatically let that light in and start to wake you up even more. You could do a mock sunrise like I talked about before. You could sit in the sun while you're doing your morning journaling or your morning meditation, or just sit by a window. Connecting with nature in some way, shape, or form in the morning is so good for your mental health. And people who spend time outdoors, even just 20-30 minutes, are significantly happier than those who just sit inside all day with like the windows closed. So whether you're outside in nature or you're just by an open window, it can really boost your mood first thing in the morning. Number 6 is when you do turn on your phone, when you do turn on the TV, even when you open a book, make sure that the content that you're consuming in the morning is positive. Oh, and this goes for like podcasts and music as well. When you're in those waking hours, your brain is just going to soak up those first things that you see, those first things that you hear. So make sure that the podcast that you're turning on is positive. Make sure that just turn off the news, honestly, at this point. Don't watch the news in the morning. Make sure that the accounts that you follow on social media are positive and uplifting. Or just don't even consume content in the morning. Maybe just turn on like jazz music on Spotify. That's what I like to do. I'll put on jazz music and I'll pour myself a cup of coffee and I'll just sit in my room, or I'll put on peaceful meditation on Spotify. That's another good one. I would just recommend that ultimately you spend time with you. Make your morning routine self-focused, because once you start consuming all this other content, the focus shifts to that content, that person's life, the news, the scary world around us. I know that you're going to go out in the world and probably overconsume content anyway, so just don't bring that in your morning routine. There's no need for it here. Habit number 7 is to make your to-do list. This is your opportunity to kind of let go of any stress that you might have going into this day. I find that I am the most stressed out and the most unproductive when I do not make a to-do list. And this is because I can't see physically the things that I have on my plate today. And I'm just thinking of all these things that I have to do on my mind. And once I write it down on paper, it's really not that stressful. And I can physically see that I don't really have that much going on. It just felt like a lot in my brain. Habit number 8 is to spend 5 minutes tidying up your space. This could mean doing the dishes. This could mean starting the laundry. This could mean putting away those rogue clothes on the floor that, maybe you're not going to wear that pair of jeans today. So instead of throwing it on the chair, you're going to hang them back up in the closet. So when you spend these 5 minutes tidying up, whenever you come back to your space, whether it be later that day because you work from home, or maybe you work a 9 to 5 and you're going to come home in the afternoon, in the evening, and just want to be in a clean space, you're just going to be in a better mood. Like, you're going to thank your past self for kind of tidying up a little bit, for doing the laundry, for doing the dishes. All right, you guys, those are my 8 habits that you absolutely need in your morning routine. Please let me know if you guys implement any of these habits into your morning and what works best for you. You guys know that I absolutely love connecting with you on Instagram. So if you ever have a question or you just want to chat, my Instagram and the podcast Instagram will be linked in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to 80/20. I post new episodes every single Monday and Thursday. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode, and I will chat with you soon.